Hey everybody, welcome to MagHub Monday. I'm your host Nick Patero, and this is the show where we talk about everything related to media, MagHub, advertising, and sales. Today I have a special guest for you. Luke Viertel, digital strategist at Premier Guitar, is going to be talking about how to build out effective marketing campaigns, kind of sales enablement, marketing campaigns, top of funnel for sales outreach in new promos or campaigns or special issues that Premier Guitar is offering. Some of this is through MagHub, and some of it is through a spreadsheet that he's designed and he's going to show us as well, so we can keep track of everything. Maybe in the future we'll see some of these features included inside the MagHub application, but right now Luke is going to give us a few tips and tricks that he uses to help organize the sales outreach for his team of advertising salespeople. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. I will note that my connection is a little bit funky on this one, so there's a little bit of a delay, but apologies in advance for that. All right, let's get to it. All right, guys, welcome to MagHub Monday today. I've got a guest with me, Luke Viertel from Premier Guitar. Luke's a digital strategist. Luke, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks, Nick, for having me.
Yeah, for sure, man. So one of the things that Luke and I have been talking about for the last couple of weeks is about sales enablement and kind of business development for smaller teams. So Luke, you spend a lot of time doing this, kind of sit between marketing and sales and making sure the teams kind of line up. Tell us a little bit about what you do for Premier Guitar on a day-to-day basis.
On a day-to-day basis, I basically manage most of the artwork collection, retrieval, and then the production implementation of all the ads that Premier Guitar does across platforms, all of our socials, our website, you know, look over orders that come in, help as a MagHub support liaison for our team, and really work in sales support to help them whatever they need to get sales done or to get production moving on any sort of items. That's my day to day, and then I work on strategy and trying to accelerate revenue growth and stuff like that for Premier Guitar as a whole. So
Nice. So you're kind of, I want to, make this too generic, but more or less operations, right? Like you're sitting between different departments, making sure things run smoothly.
yeah, I think that's a great way to say it.
So the idea specifically that we were talking about that relates to sales enablement and business development is an idea of giving the salespeople templates and campaigns to be able to systematically and consistently reach out to prospects or clients or past clients about special opportunities that Premier Guitar might be running in the coming weeks or potentially months, depending on timelines and things like that. But I know from my personal experience, it's hard to be consistent with this type of an outreach if you don't have a system in place. So you kind of lose track of things. You do a great job one month, and then you get sidetracked with a bunch of client issues, and then you forget about it next month. So how are you guys at Premier Guitar managing a consistent outreach for the salespeople? Like, what are you guys doing? How do you manage it? What does it look like? And what kind of results have you guys seen from putting this type of system in place?
Well, I think you're right. The consistency is a difficult part. And early on, we were always attracted to using mail merged out of MagHub because our whole database is there, all client records are there, and being able to use those lists and the categories and all the work we've already done setting up in mail merge was really attractive to us. So we really wanted to work hard and figure out how we could utilize it better. And then we found, like you said, consistency was a huge thing. What we're pitching, how we're pitching it, and then, of course, in some ways, accountability, wanting to be able to have some visibility into our sales staff, making sure they're doing it and saying, how can we do that in an efficient way? So what we came up with was basically, moving all of our pitching into MagHub. So whether it be issue-based or special promotions we have or whatever we're doing, including initial outreach and how we scale through in a pitch, whether it be a reminder blast or a last call, organizing that all around the MagHub campaign structure. So not only do you get accountability to make sure that your team is doing it together with the right list, with the right template at the right time, but also being able to analyze it in the long term, saying what are we doing that's right. So essentially came up with the system in a way to not only track what you're doing, what you've done in the past in terms of the category it was in, the type of blast it was, and the type of product it was. So putting those all together, all the permutations together, so you can analyze how things have gone in the past and then plan for the future as well. So you know, okay, if I have something coming up in 2 weeks, I'm going to send my first email about it 2 weeks ahead of time. I'm going to do a reminder 1 week ahead of time, and I'm going to do a last call 2 days ahead of time. And I'm going to make sure my team all coalesces around those dates. We have a consistent message, and we're able to see in the future about how things of a similar nature worked in the past. That was a really long-winded answer, but that's the gist.
Oh no, that's great. MagHub does a lot of this stuff, and obviously you guys are using the system to help you, make this happen. But we talked about before, pushing the record button, this spreadsheet that you guys are using, kind of a systematic approach on how you're managing this. So would you mind sharing a little bit about how that works and what it looks like?
Sure. Let me just, you can see my screen now. You can see a spreadsheet here. So this is just, I can't take credit for the upkeep really of this sheet here, but, and I won't go too basic because there's a lot of things here people, or go too extensive because people don't need, but you can see that we maintain in column A here the name and what type of blast we're doing, the product, the category, and whether it's a first call, second call, or a last blast that we're going to do about this. And of course we have the date, so we organize this in a way where when we select these options, they will start categorizing themselves and tabulating data on other tabs. So we can see every permutation here of every category, blast type, and how our data correlates. So when, in the future here, if we had, we're doing an ebook on our rig rundowns, the second blast, we can understand, okay, when we do, for example, this category and this product type on this second blast, what is our results like? And are we finding that the second email is where most of the sales come from, where the third email is unnecessary? Maybe that's the first email or something of that nature. So that's kind of the general idea. And then we allow it to shape our decisions and how we track and write our pitches in the future too. So you can see here each of these links to stuff that we've written. All of our team gets together to work on these pitches together, so we're confident in our messaging and that it's consistent on the pricing and everything like that. And then of course, this data is just in supplement to what happens inside MagHub. You can also use the campaign activity reporting to sort of get a glimpse into that too. So.
Right. Like I'm sure once you send these out, the reps, you make it really easy for them to go in there, choose a template, send a blast out to their list. And they're probably getting the analytics back to say, hey, yeah, maybe this person didn't buy directly, but they opened and clicked on an email.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense for me to call them. Right.
Right. Yep. And that's the meat and potatoes of your list and mail merge, where I think a lot of people would do. You understand that if you have a particular product you send to 50 people that you think really would be interested in it, 30 of them and open it. Well, maybe the second call you're gonna email everybody again, and the same 15 people open it. Well, maybe the last call or the last chance you're gonna get someone to buy that, you're gonna refine your list of the people that you thought might be interested in based on how many times they've opened it. Maybe you're gonna follow up with a phone call. You can use to-dos. You can take it all the way through the system. To know that you made full effort on that client for that particular product. And it's a way for whoever is your supervisor to say, hey, let me take a micro dive into X client and see why they didn't buy X product I think that they should have bought with us. And I can see, okay, they got a first mail merge, they never opened it. They have never opened the second one, and we gave them so we can say, okay, all the way back, I can guarantee that you made the effort on this, and we know that our team tried our best and it wasn't to be this time. And that visibility not only gives you peace of mind, but also allows you to find places to improve.
So looking at spreadsheets and the reports that you share, that's for some folks that might be kind of dipping their toe into this, it might feel a little bit overwhelming. What would you recommend for someone that's just thinking about starting this type of effort, right? Where do they start? What do they look at? And this might be a tough question to answer, but how do they know if it's successful?
If using the campaigns are successful?
Yeah.
Well, that's a great question. We're hoping in the future that MagHub continues to develop the product to tie orders to it. I know that from the forum that I attended, that was actually very useful. Thanks to the MagHub staff. I've learned that that's in the product pipeline to explore that. So that is a key part of it. But I think in terms of getting started and knowing whether it's working for you, just analyze what your holdup in the situation is. We had multiple fronts that allowed us to understand that this was something we want to pursue. Whereas, do you feel like you don't have enough visibility into what your sales team is doing, or that you want more visibility? Maybe you have an adequate amount, you want an additional one. Do you feel like your pitching isn't consistent enough between pricing or messaging or timing? Do you feel like maybe it all together? So find your pain point, as you will, and start with that. So if it's consistent messaging, okay, now start with building a few templates for your main products, like your print issues, or something that you know is not going to change, or you can build a schedule around something basic at first. Try that, so now you have consistent messaging. You can check that off, and then slowly work yourself up the way that we have. We've been doing it for about a year now, and it's like I said, all of our sales process pretty much goes through this now. So start with the pain point, find out what would be most helpful, and attack that part of it first. And once you get into the process, you'll be able to reap the benefits from the other areas of it.
To give people context of volume, how many brands are you doing this for?
How many brands, like clients?
No. Like entities, like titles. Premier Guitar,
Oh,
right?
one. Yep, just us.
One brand.
But
Okay.
but we have 8, 9 platforms and 50, 60, 70 digital products that all involve different messaging. So one platform, but many, 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 many things. So not only we have our monthly print issue, but we have things that are for sale every day of the week. So like a lot of people do. Obviously a print magazine is, what's the word I'm looking for? Not disposable, but when the inventory it goes away after you get. So we have a newsletter on a Tuesday. That if we don't sell it on that Tuesday, that inventory doesn't ever exist again. So consistency and timing really matters in that aspect, where you say, okay, I want to make sure all my business can get in before any sort of production date, so you don't miss the boat, which is probably similar for everybody. But
deadlines are super important to consider when going about this.
Perishable. That's the word I'm looking for. Perishable inventory.
I like that. Perishable.
Yeah.
That's not a term that I've heard used for advertising in this sense, but I really like that.
We probably have 80% of our inventory that we sell is perishable, so time frames are everything.
Right. Now you've got one brand, 9 or 10 channels of delivering content to customers that your advertising clients might be able to sponsor. What's the volume of campaigns that you guys are running? Say you guys publish, the print title is monthly, correct?
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yep.
What's the volume look like?
Let me just look here. I think, let's see. I can just tell you this month how many campaigns that we've sent. In October, we have done, across 3 reps, probably 15 cents, 15 to 20. So nothing crazy, but once every 2 or 3 days, we've got a major campaign going out, and then of course they trickle through second calls, reminders, tweak the templates as you go.
Right. And I'll make it clear, you mentioned this before, but the reps are refining the list of people that they're sending these campaigns to, right? So they're not hitting the same client with 20 different campaigns over the course of 20 days, right? Like, you're picking and choosing and segmenting the data based on categories and maybe dynamic attributes that they've set, past sales information, and then they're creating that list and sending the blast.
Yep. So they're using their best organizational tactics to do a contact search, to build a list on who they're going to pitch to, and then after that first send, you can take off people that maybe already made the purchase, or giving an outright no and said, I'm not interested. You take those people off the list, or maybe it bounced back, their email address is dead. You can tweak that list again for the second time through. It's a smaller, tighter list of people you might be interested in. Do the same thing down the line. So yeah, they are doing that.
Now, we didn't really get into today how to create a campaign, and that's totally fine. I actually have a video. I'll probably put a link somewhere over here, and you, as the viewers, can take a look at how to create a campaign themselves. But Luke, this was awesome. Thanks for sharing your guys' kind of best practice on how to create campaigns and, enable the salespeople to do more with, the same or even less amount of time in the system. So very cool.
Yep. No problem.
Yeah. Thanks everybody. Have a good one.
See ya.